Aloha and good morning, everybody. As you can see, we got trusses on the roof. Well, as we're building this house, nothing has changed how we feel about this place or help us really envision the space more than putting the trusses up. Uh, it's kind of amazing. Every step of the way changes how you feel about the rooms and the sizes and all of that stuff. But when you put the trusses up and put a lid on it, it really starts to feel like you're actually building a house instead of just a bunch of sticks. It also helps that Sue and I have put a bunch more plywood up on the walls. So you're going to see in some rooms where it's really starting to feel enclosed and you can kind of feel the size of things. And it's really starting to shape the spaces. I know the whole house seems to get like bigger when you do one thing and smaller when you do the next and that kind of thing. But the trusses are a big deal. So we'll talk about it for a minute here. And the way we did this, we ended up installing these just with myself and one other guy. I found this local guy. His name is Cy, and man, what a worker. So, and he'd done this before, and he also had experience with cranes and rigging and stuff like that. He's just like the absolute perfect guy to help me out with this job. He was fantastic. And he and I had ladders and would climb, and we had Mackie um, helping us on the ground. Big help there, running around grabbing everything. There's nothing quite like you're up playing monkey amongst the trusses, and you just need a nail or a hammer and somebody there to hand you stuff. Saves you so much time. So a lot of up and down ladders. But in one day, we got all of these trusses set. We did bring a crane in, so the crane lifted them up and put them in place. We got all but 5 of them set. And then the last 5 we had out here, actually, they were kind of laying right off the back of the living room. We just laid them flat. And the next day, I came in, and while Cy was building one of the hip roofs, and I put the last 5 up. It only probably took me 45 minutes to do that by myself. We did in these big open areas like this, we did build catwalks. So we had a board going all the way up, and I'll show you one that's still in place out there, just to give us some security while we're up there walking around. It's not so bad in areas where you have walls, but where it's just wide open like this, it's a real secure feeling to have a catwalk. I've torn the one down, in here. You can see over here the wall. This is the living room. You can see we got all the plywood stuck up here. That kind of forms the wall. We haven't cut the windows out yet, so you can see this is a window. It's just a tall, skinny window and quite high up, just because the only thing out here is a driveway in the neighbor's house and the hot summer sun. So we want some ventilation here, so we'll have windows that can pop out. But the reality is most of this is just going to be wall, and we're actually going to probably add a little extra insulation in here. Let's walk outside and we'll check out the porch and show you a little bit what's going on with the hip roof. Outside the building, as I said earlier, we got more plywood put up, so you can see all the work Sue and I have been doing. We still have about probably 40 sheets of plywood to go on the outside and also interior walls that are shear walls. I think I probably told you in a previous video that a bunch of the walls inside have to be plywooded with 1/2-inch plywood just for shear walls. We've already gotten a bunch of the bird blocking on, actually the majority of all the bird blockings on, except for back here in this last hip roof. And I spent a bunch of time yesterday string lining off the ends of the tails here and getting those cut. So we got blocking that needs to go out on the middle, and then we're going to put a fascia, up on the front of those, a 2x8 fascia, because these are 2x6 tails. And then, and then we're going to end up covering the entire fascia with metal, which is nice for a couple of reasons. One, thanks for the hot idea, brother, by the way. One of the cool things about it is I don't have to be that nice with the fascia. If I want to hit it with a hammer and beat the snot out of it and leave a hammerhead mark in it, it's just not going to matter. And also when it gets up there, it'll be the same color as the roof, and I won't have to paint it. a bunch of it's going to get covered up with gutter anyway. You kind of got to gutter everything around here. When it rains 120 to 160 inches of rain a year, rain coming off this thing will just absolutely incise trenches around your house. So you got to put gutter in, or you got to put a bunch of rock in to kind of give it all a place to land. Well, I know that's a quick update, but we're making lots of progress. Today we're out here. It's a Sunday morning. We're going to get up and work on the other end of the house that faces the street, do some string lining. I don't have the tails cut off at the end of there yet. And we might throw some fascia up later on today. We'll see how it goes. But I need a day off. I've been at it hard for 6 days in a row, and this will be half a day. And we'll leave here, and go see the Seahawks play this afternoon on the big old telly. So that's the plan. I hope you enjoyed the update. We'll see you all later. Aloha.